comic book nerds, and welcome to this week's episode of What I Got at the Comic Shop. Or I guess we're calling it Comics and Such. So, Comics and Such. So, didn't pick up everything. We had some big bills come due with a guinea pig that needed surgery, so we had to be selective with what we chose. So, we picked up Usagi Yojimbo number 149. Darth Vader 11. Darth Vader 10. Star Wars 10. And Providence number 5. And I tell you what, they are really pushing this Black Series Wampa with Luke. Look at that. It's been on the back of almost every Star Wars related title we've gotten for a long time. We also picked up the new previews. Well, not new. Diamond, looking at you, Diamond, didn't send the October previews to my comic shop in time, so it just came in this week. So go figure, whatever. It's still fun to look through. Okay, so we are still loving the heck out of Providence. It's great. Haven't read that one yet. I did read The Walking Dead 147. So we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about the show. So leave the room if you don't want to get spoiled. Okay, so the last issue I thought was really, really good, dealing with Alpha, and then Alpha giving up Lydia to the group in what seems to be an effort to save Lydia from all the rape that goes on with, what are they calling themselves? I don't know, the weirdos who wear the skinwalkers. We'll call them skinwalkers. So this issue I thought was just a teensy bit boring because they're just setting up more stuff. Lydia pulled a gun on Andrew at the end of it. We know nothing's going to come of that. Because it's Andrea. Although, I said that a lot about Glenn. And then, Glenn was killed by Lucille. So, via Negan. So let's talk about the show. Was not expecting that, right? Were you expecting that? I was not expecting that. I cried. Kind of like a bitch, honestly. Like, I knew as soon as I got to Andrea, I'd have to start dealing with the potential feels I was going to get because I knew Negan was going to end up showing up and Glenn was going to meet Lucille on the business end, and oh, the feels I was preparing to have. The feels I ended up having because that came out of left field with stupid Nicholas. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that hurts so bad, right? I mean, my husband and I sat there and argued it and discussed it, and he's thinking that because Nicholas fell on top of Glenn, that maybe those walkers are, going through Nicholas, and all those entrails we saw are just Nicholas's. Even if that's what's going on, they're not going to stop when they're done with Nicholas. They'll go straight through his body into Glenn's body. Because they're walkers, they don't give a crap. The only hope Glenn has is if he shuts the hell up. Because, he was screaming. I'd be screaming. The only hope he has is if he shuts up and just starts covering himself with gore and hoping maybe they'll get so distracted they leave him alone. Because, if you remember, back in Atlanta, they covered themselves in the gore of walkers, and all the other walkers were like, oh, they smell gross just like we do. Clearly, we don't need to eat them. Oh man, that's going to be his only hope. And then maybe jumping inside of that dumpster and just waiting for them to go away. But we watched The Talking Dead, and what Greg Nicotero said with, we will see some version of Glenn, be it flashbacks or whatever, just makes me feel like, crap, what if we see him as a walker? I don't want to see him as a walker. Flashbacks, I guess, would be nice, but... So Glenn was my favorite character in the comic book. And then after he ate it from Lucille, I moved on to Andrea's sort of my favorite. Andrea and Michonne. I really like Michonne. In the show, though, I didn't much like Daryl at the very, very, very beginning when he was still very much under the thumb of Merle, but then around the time Sophia went missing and he took it upon himself to go look for her by himself when no one else was helping, was when I really Team Daryl all the way, and I've been a hardcore Team Daryl fan since then. And so Glenn sacrificed himself basically for the good of the group for Maggie. Who's gonna do that now when Negan comes around? Probably fucking Daryl. And I can't, oh man, I'm trying to prepare myself for those feels because I know that Kirkman came out and said basically the only person who is safe is Carol, which is great because I love Carol. Carol in the book was just sucky. Carol in the show was amazing. It was the reverse with Andrea. Andrea in the book is, just, you know, doing it for herself. And then in the show, she was all, I need a man to tell me what to do, even if he's blatantly wrong, I'll follow whatever he says. Yeah, I like her better in the book. I liked the way she was played in the show. That's kind of a lie. I just didn't like I did not like Andrea in the show. I was sad to see her die because I very much enjoyed her in the comic book, but yeah, I just watched it this morning, so the feels are still coursing through me, and I'm having issues with it. The only person I know who watches it is my husband, and he's taking a nap. So I have no one to discuss this with. None of my friends watch it because friends all suck. So they don't suck. They just don't understand good TV. There, I said it. Anyway. Glenn's dead. We just have to really try to accept that and somehow heal and move on. But it's The Walking Dead. No one's safe. There will be no time to heal because who knows what fresh hell we'll have next week with the walkers surrounding Rick in the RV and, oh man, craziness. At first, I'll be honest, with Enid running out of the compound, sneaking out, I really thought she was one of Negan's girls. Even though, I know she's very young, but I thought she was like one of Negan's group. And then somebody brought up that maybe she's actually with the wolves, which, going back and rewatching the episodes with Enid, she could be. Could be. I would hope not, but I would think with her just survive somehow thing that she would steer clear of the wolves. Especially because when we saw her joining the compound, she was gonna walk on and then she heard the sounds of like children and stuff inside and was like, maybe. And then she went in. Or maybe she heard that because we didn't see her just immediately turn and be like, oh, okay, we saw her contemplate it, and then it cut to the gates opening for her, so what if she ran back and was like, hey, wolves? But then again, I don't think so at all, because Morgan, I kind of blame a lot of stuff right now on Morgan, I'll be honest with you. I really liked him, I was so glad he came back, and then he didn't kill those wolves when he had the chance, and I get that he wants to keep a shred of his humanity. But because he didn't kill those wolves, the ones that attacked him when he was eating his oatmeal or something, he just put them in that car, and granted he honked the horn a few times, probably to get walkers there, so they do his business for him. I don't know. Those are the ones who killed the guy in the red poncho. So then those are the ones that found the backpack that Aaron dropped. And yes, you could argue that Aaron is carrying around photos of Alexandria, so that could be potentially hazardous to Alexandria, but those wolves would not have found the backpack. That little parking lot at the food place would have been so overrun with walkers, nobody would be like, hey, look, there's a backpack, let's go try to get it. No, the wolves went there with Red Poncho Guy and started collecting all their walkers again, and they found the backpack. That's on Morgan, because those are the wolves he let go. And then with the fall of Alexandria, or not the fall, but the attack on Alexandria, he had that chance to kill those 3 or 4 wolves, and he's all, my people have guns, and yours don't. Well, now they have a gun, because you let the guy take a gun and run away with it. And then they're the ones who attacked Rick in the RV. Granted, Rick took care of business like a man, kind of unlike Morgan. I get he wants to keep a shred of his humanity, but seriously, these people killed how many Alexandrians? Do we even know the full count yet? And Morgan's just like, go in peace. No! I know he did end up killing that one. I'm assuming he killed that one at the end. That or that one is going to be the first prisoner of Alexandria. I don't know, but the feels, I tell you. Anyway, this is what we got at the comic shop. Providence and Dead are the only things I'm not behind on. I think I'm actually 1 issue behind on Shoe, but I don't really know where I put it. That's all. That's what we got at the comic shop. Read on.